Hi, I'm Torit Mato. Welcome to Art and Purulia. Water is one of the most sought after subjects in paintings. In this video, I am going to share the tips on how to paint reflections on water. Though the basic laws of reflection as we study in optics in science holds good here also, as an artist, it's important to understand the art side too. One of the main factor is the reflecting surface or water, besides the light conditions. Let's see what are the types of water bodies we see in nature. It's important to consider the type when planning a landscape painting. Still water. You will find still water mostly in ponds and small lakes when no wind is present. The reflections will be very clear and crisp, almost like a mirror. Water moving slowly. This condition you will find over lakes, ponds, or even sea. When there is negligible breeze, this is the most suitable condition for painting. Most of the artists avoid the calm water condition primarily because it would be almost repetition of the main object only upside down. So it becomes boring and less attractive also as a painting. So in this state where the reflection is slightly hazy is more preferable. You can notice that the forms are not broken until after about 2/3 of the way down. But many a times we spoil it by overdoing the breaking effect. Water with more motion. Though mostly found in rivers and streams, you will encounter this state even over sea and large lakes. The reflections are broken and doesn't have clear definitions. This happens because of slightly heavy winds. In this picture, I took a few days back on Sahib Bandh in Purulia. The reflections have become even more complex because of the movement caused by a moving shikara. Disturbed water. In windy conditions, the water gets disturbed and the surface is no longer reflective. You can't see reflections at all. Now let's come to rules of thumb for painting water reflections. These are all general observations, though things can change slightly depending on direction and intensity of light and angle of view. Whatever is dark on land will be lighter in water. Whatever is light on land will be darker in water. Colors become less saturated in water reflections. Even white will need to be grayed down in the water. Details are left out, only the basic smudges of color are needed. Avoid all hard edges in water reflections. Because water is denser than air, it will absorb light. Therefore, do not repeat the same value of the sky in the water reflections. Water will almost always be darker than the sky it is mirroring. The closer the water is to the viewer, the less it reflects an image of the earth and sky. Water at a distance is mostly flat. Now let's understand the shapes and angles reflected in water. When viewing a scene of reflections in water, you are seeing the actual objects in the scene and their reflected images from two different viewing angles. Though the reflected image you see in the water bounces off the surface of the water, you see the reflected scene from an angle of view as far below as your eyes are above the water. That's why the reflections are longer when height of viewer is closer to the water level and shorter when much higher than the water level. Also, you see more of the undersides of reflected objects when the object is over the water or at the edge of the water, and may even see reflected objects that you cannot see at all when you look directly at the objects. When an object is vertical, the reflection will be of the same height. When tilted backwards, it will be short, and when forward, it will be long. When tilted sideways, the angle of the tilt will be same in the reflection with respect to the water surface. Now let's paint a landscape with some reflections. I have made a rough sketch of the landscape I am going to paint. I will use acrylics. I will use phthalo blue, titanium white, cadmium yellow, burnt sienna and cadmium red. Firstly, I will block all the colors. Then paint the background. It's slightly foggy. So the distant trees won't be all that defined. It will be bluish and light in color. Remember, we discussed all this in the perspective section. The next layer will be slightly darker with more green in it. For the reflections, I'll use the same shade of green but a bit of complementary, that is red, added to it to make it dull, and also a bit white to lighten it. After the paints applied directly vertically down under each tree and foliage to indicate the presence of the same on land, I'll take a dry big brush to softly pull the paint vertically down a bit, then a few horizontal strokes. The nearby features like the tree, bushes and the benches will be brighter in color and more defined. Then to add to the highlights, just add some white and a touch of blue and run horizontal strokes using a flat edge of knife or a flat brush to indicate some ripples. Thanks a lot for watching the video. You must try out a painting immediately.